Good evening, good evening. Taxes, taxes, taxes. By the way, first off, I am trying to fix why my titles don't show up on my videos anymore. The TikTok fix isn't working, but I am trying to work that out. But I'm here to talk about this taxes, 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 because it is a thing. And I know it's calendar Independence Day, but let's just really talk about it. The taxes. We've talked about this before. When you are bringing this up, you're gonna have to ask yourselves, when are we going to just be okay understanding that things are gonna be tough? Now you may say to yourself, things are already tough for me. No, they're not. They're gonna have to get tougher. The problem that we're having is with the tax bill, right? The middle and lower class definitely did get some tax breaks. Now the low class, they're getting hit. They're going to get hit really hard, but the middle class definitely got tax breaks. The problem is the sustainability in the way that they keep using the taxes as a cyclic problem. And you have to look this up. But if you don't want to look it up and you trust me and you know that I am doing the work, let me explain to you why the tax cuts are often not sustainable. They reduce revenue needed for infrastructure, healthcare, and demographic challenges. They create fiscal pressure that eventually requires spending cuts, borrowing, or future tax increases. Now you gotta understand, number one, when the middle classes taxes come back, they put them in the political cycle so they can have a talking point. You are guaranteed, if you vote Democrat, you're guaranteed, I promise you, if you vote Democrat, more than likely if you vote non-party too, that you're gonna face this problem because people need to start being honest and just telling the truth. Yes, I wanna get rid of that plan. That's what they need to say. I wanna get rid of it. And yes, it is going to hurt. But before you do that, here is the tax plan, and this is how we're going to deal with that. This is why I brought up the who, what, when, why, and how. That's why it's important to know these things. That's why it's important to start hearing these things early and having those federal level people that you want to elect put these plans out and explain these plans early. They should be taking notes from that. If you go to my website, you will see that I put my plan for giving citizens more control because I know that that is a root cause problem. This tax thing, while you will benefit, the reason it has to continue to be a talking point is because we don't raise wages. Look, you can even take it to a childhood book that would be everywhere. It was Peter Pan. They were overtaxing. Making it difficult for the population, while the wealthy were just living the life of luxury. They were overtaxing. They are today overtaxing, except for we citizens don't have a Robin Hood. That's the difference. You've got to understand that at some point, one of our generations is going to have to deal with this. And you can't just keep saying, why me? Because that's the idea. If I can keep you saying, why me? I can keep extending the issue. You have to say, I'm okay enduring the pain. It's just gonna be there. If you're talking about the future, if you're talking about how you can better things with your children, if you're talking about creating a better future environment, then you need to understand that sometimes when you make mistakes, you have to crawl out of the mistakes that you make. You have to. It's important. Now, one of the things that you're gonna always hear is, hey, you're not gonna stop paying taxes. So you better figure out why the government will not get a hold of it. Tax cuts are not sustainable because you're paying into them. You're not getting extra money. We can't even get the federal government to raise the federal minimum wage. Come on. Now, one of the problems we're gonna have, and you gotta call it out, it's going to be self-character conflict. Self-character conflict. How hard is it gonna be to look at somebody and be like, I thought we're all supposed to be suffering the same? It's not possible. We've already wrote that out. There is a low class, there is a middle class, but you never hear. They always say wealthy, but they never call them like upper class. Because you're like, hey, what do you mean upper class? What do you mean better than me? There's always gonna be character conflict. That's why we're gonna have to be okay being comfortable. We have to really do some soul searching as individuals. This is important. So with that being said, understand that while there are benefits to the tax plan, you're gonna hear the argument talking points. I'm just hoping that at the federal level, because I'm running for governor of a state, I'm hoping at the federal level that one of these people comes up with a tax plan and is truthful about it, that simply says these will be the hardships because we have to right this wrong, because we have to write this the correct way. Because hey, you know what? We do need to push our corporations to pay more, because y'all better understand something. I told you, we're in the fiat currency system and pension plans are all but out of here. If you're not rich, if you're not wealthy, and that estate tax, y'all better really go read that. It is not for the majority. Like, I think you have to make almost $14 million. You have to be able to pass down $14 million. How many of you can do that? How many of you can do that? Like, seriously. Not want to, actively can do that right now. This is why you can't. There is a place where you do have to have some personal characteristics about yourself. You got to take accountability that what our children's are going to endure is based on the decisions that we're going to make today. It's based on the decision that you're going to make November 3rd, 2026. November 3rd, 2026. Whether I find enough people to fill out my petition to actually get my name on there. And let me be clear about this. I'm not paying the money because I need to know for myself that citizens have recognized that we are removed from power, from the necessary power to support representatives. And I need to know that citizens recognize that and that they are willing to get behind that to put themselves back in the seat of power. That's why I'm asking you to go to my link tree that's on my bio, download the petition and take it to Supervisor Elections Office. And I'm going to be as honest with you as I can. Look, I do not get messages that say I took my paper to the Supervisor of Elections Office. I get likes, I get comments like, hey, I really love your material. You keep on pushing. We've got to make you go viral. But what I'm looking for is people to say, I did it. I took mine to the Supervisor of Elections Office and I got my 10-cent receipt. That's it. We've got to do something different and we got to be accountable and we have to hold ourselves accountable. Let's do that, because there's just a lot of people who think that, you know what, I don't care about what happens tomorrow as long as I live good today. And I personally don't think like that. I do care about it. I do. And I know that sometimes you have to go through some pain today to be pain-free later. I just know that. And I'm willing to go through the pain with you. But I'm not stupid enough to believe that we're all gonna feel the same pain in the exact same way. That's all I'm saying. So I hope you guys are having a safe day today. When we look at the news later, hopefully we don't see any incidents. And you guys have a great evening.